Skull Island! So I finally got around to seeing Kong Skull Island. I do apologise in the delay in my videos. I've just been really busy lately and trying to get on top of everything. So I know I'm a bit late to the game, but I finally went and saw it. So Kong Skull Island is a reboot of the Kong franchise. It's not a retelling of the story that we've already had 3 times. This is a completely new story which is setting into what they're calling the Monsterverse, starting with Gareth Edwards' Godzilla a few years ago. So this story is about a bunch of people. Okay, so we've got someone from the Monarch group who were instrumental in the Godzilla film, and there's talk about this mysterious island that's been uncharted and they want to go and explore it. So they get a military guy and a photographer and some geologists and seismologists and other types of ologists. So everybody heads out to this island to check it out and explore it. Unbeknownst to them, there is a rather large monkey living on the island named King Kong. And King Kong ain't too happy about strangers being on his island and blowing stuff up. So naturally he goes on a bit of a rampage and, well, yeah, all hell breaks loose for our characters. And that's about it. So what I liked about this movie, look, it was a great looking movie. You know, the cinematography was actually quite good. There was a lot of use of color in the film, which, you know, for a movie that was set on an island, primarily in the jungle, they did a good job of enhancing it with other types of colors and stuff. There was some great shot choices too. Some of the camera angles and stuff like that I thought were actually quite inventive. Aside from that, we had a really amazing cast in the film. We got Samuel L. Jackson, Brie Larson, Tom Hiddleston, John C. Reilly, John Goodman, a whole bunch of amazing people. And look, given the material, I thought everyone did as good a job as they possibly could. You know, the performances were engaging. Unfortunately, the characters weren't. But I'll get to that in a minute. As far as other things I like, you know, anytime King Kong was on the screen, it was great, especially when he's rampaging or fighting other monsters or things like that. Occasionally the CG looked a little maybe unfinished or something. There was a couple of times it looked a little fake, but for the most part it was good. And his character was actually, ironically, I thought one of the most well-developed characters in the film. You had a lot of sympathy for him, but he was every bit as badass as you wanted King Kong to be. I also liked the whole concept of Skull Island with all these different types of creatures. You know, I mean, we've seen him in a trailer, so it's no spoiler, but yeah, some of them were very creatively designed and everything just looked mysterious and weird, like you would expect it to be. Now, where the film went wrong though, look, for a movie like this, for 2 hours of a giant ape smashing things to pieces and everything, you'd sort of think it'd be, you know, a pretty exciting film, but it really wasn't. It was actually kind of a bland movie. Unfortunately, a lot of the action sequences were just strung together by, well, not really much of a plot. There was no character development. I didn't really feel anything for any of the characters. There was no tension in the film. I mean, the whole beginning should have been a build-up to, you know, some tension when they head out to this island. You should be really sitting there going, oh my god, you know, don't go there. There's stuff that's gonna eat you and throw poop at you. But realistically, there was none of that. And like I said, I just didn't feel anything for the characters. I mean, look, it's no secret that, you know, there's going to be a lot of deaths in this movie, but I didn't feel anything for anybody, and that was a real shame. Like, you didn't know anything about these people. I mean, we had a hard-ass military guy, a photographer, a tracker, and that's all we knew about them. We didn't really know anything about their past or who these people were, and that was a big letdown for the script. Another thing that just, it kind of bugged me was the film set in 1973, and the movie was very influenced by things like Apocalypse Now, the whole Vietnam War era, and they kept banging us over the head with 70s rock music, and not just in the soundtrack but in the actual movie. Like, there always seemed to be a record player or something around, like on board a helicopter and stuff like that, and it was sort of like, well, why is there music everywhere? It just, I don't know, it didn't make much sense. And here's an example of how poorly written the dialogue was. There was this one moment, now like I said, the movie's set in 1973, there was one moment where the characters were referring to an event that happened, and I think it was John Goodman's character. He said, you know, such and such happened in 72. And that kind of got me thinking, if it was the year after, would you say in 72 or would you say last year? I mean, if I'm telling somebody about something that happened last year, I'm not going to say, oh, you know, that happened back in 2016. I'm going to say last year. So, yeah, I don't know. That was just one little thing that just kind of pointed out to me just, I don't know, how bland the dialogue was. It sort of reminded me, okay, you know when you're talking to somebody, say you're at a dinner party or something like that, and someone is talking about something that does not interest you in the slightest, and you just kind of tune out and, you know, you're just nodding and saying yes. Well, that's what this movie was. You know, a lot of the dialogue scenes, I was just kind of tuning out and waiting for the monkey to come and smash things up. So, yeah, that kind of sums up the film, really. Sorry, I've got a hyperactive kitten in my living room playing with a cardboard box at the moment, so excuse the noise. So, overall, I don't know if I can really recommend this movie to anybody. I mean, if you like your giant monster movies, you're probably going to see it, but just don't expect too much. I mean, you don't see Kong until, say, half an hour into the film, really. And overall, there wasn't that much of him. There was just too much of, you know, attempted character development and too much talking. I would have liked a lot more tension throughout the film, which wasn't there. I respect it for the fact that it's the next installment in the Monsterverse and we're leading up to a King Kong vs. Godzilla film. And if you don't believe me, stick around till after the credits, because there's some Godzilla stuff right there for you. But this is definitely one to wait till it comes to Blu-ray or Netflix or something like that. I'm going to give Kong Skull Island a 5.5 out of 10. So thanks for taking the time to watch my review. Now coming up, I've got Beauty and the Beast, I've got Power Rangers, I've got Life. I'm going to get back into this, guys, because I know there was a bit of a delay in my reviews, but I'm going to keep on top of everything and bring those for you as soon as I can. And in the meantime, if you've seen Kong Skull Island, let me know what you thought of it. Did you absolutely love it? I know there are some people out there who really dug the movie, so if you're one of them, let me know why. Drop me some comments either here or on Facebook. All the social media links are in the description below, because I like to talk about movies and I would love to talk about movies with you. I'll catch you next time.
Click subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest movie reviews. Skynet will be taking over any day now, so what have you got to lose? Nyah.